Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Claudio, aka your favorite realtor, or non-generic Eric, because I keep it real with you, aka also Cloud E. Gmoe.
Yo, what up, everybody? My name is Gmoe, if you didn't know. I'm usually behind the camera, but this is a very, very special episode, so Claudio talked me into coming out on camera as well, and I'm glad he did.
Introduce yourself, fool. Introduce the show.
Oh, shit. Okay. We have scripts.
You introduce the show, and I'm going to introduce our guest.
Okay, that works. Welcome to the Let's Get Real podcast interviews, where we interview interesting, fun, and successful individuals who have devoted themselves to their craft in order to share with you, the viewer, a real perspective of what people are actually doing to reach their goals and live a happy, fulfilling life in today's world.
All right. Good job, G.
Yeah.
Our guest today is a well-respected and influential person in the community, a family man who has spent tremendous time and effort with Bell Gardens football. He's more than a coach. He's a mentor, a role model, and a source of inspiration for now generations of athletes in this community, including my co-host and myself, Gmoe. Please help me welcome longtime Bell Gardens football coach and now the head coach of the Bell Gardens varsity football team, Hector Novoa. We'd like to get a little clap.
Let's go.
Get a little excited, coach.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys for having me here. Like I said, I've been watching your guys' work. I love what you guys are doing. I respect it. And I'm excited to talk about life with you guys.
Absolutely, coach. And how about them Lancers? Hey.
Yeah, so our football team is a young football team this season. I got 6 seniors on the football team. 85% of our football players are sophomores. I have a handful of juniors. So, I tell everyone, be patient with us. We're going to win a lot of football games. And what we put on the field is what I take pride in. You're going to see a disciplined football team that plays with great effort and has great character. And you'll see that when you come watch a football game here.
It starts with faith, coach. And the podcast, as a team, we have a saying. It goes, if you truly believe it, it's already yours.
It's already yours.
The key words being truly, because you have to truly believe it, and you have to start with that faith, coach. So I really respect what you just said. Jim, go ahead.
So I know we talked a little bit about you in the introduction, but in your own words, can you please tell the audience who you are and give us, your story in a nutshell?
Well, as you know, my name's Hector Novoa. I was born and raised in the city of Bell Gardens. I lived in Bell Gardens the first 19 years of my life. I attended Bell Gardens High School. I played football here all 4 years, played on the varsity my sophomore, junior, and senior year. Bell Gardens is a special place for me. Growing up, this place meant everything to me. It didn't matter. Like, I didn't care about the nicer cities. I didn't care about the better teams. Like I started coming to football games here like in 1988. I was a young kid, first year playing youth football, and I would come every Friday night to watch football games here. And since the day I attended my first football game here, that was it for me. Like, I didn't want to play for nowhere else. Like, I wanted to play for Bell Gardens football, and I wanted to be one of the best to wear a Bell Gardens football jersey. And I knew one day that I would eventually be running this program.
That far back, coach, you already had that vision.
For sure.
Yeah, you were just a kid in the bleachers right behind us here.
Yeah.
And you already know you had that vision. And that's, again, back to the quote, casting and manifesting. You know what I mean? And right from the jump, you knew that. And look at where we are today. So congratulations on that, for sure, first of all.
It's awesome, coach.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So Gmoe had the first question for you.
I got the first question. Bear with me, y'all. I'm getting used to the interview section of it. Okay. where did your coaching journey begin, and what influence / inspired you to begin coaching?
My coaching began my junior season in high school, coaching the Powder Puff football team.
Really? Oh, wow. All right.
That was my first coaching experience. That same year, I ended up helping out with the junior All-American football team we had here. But it did start off with that first Powder Puff game.
That's really cool to know. That's a cool fun fact right there.
For sure.
I'm sure not a lot of people know that, you know?
No, it was, and just that, you know, like it was just, we weren't going to lose that game, you know, like I thought we practiced harder than the seniors did. I liked what it was about. I seen how motivated the girls were, and that motivated me, you know, so that's what started it. Then it went from that to, you know, coaching youth football here, you know, and those days was the grind for me, right? Like, that's where, you know, like, hard work. Like, my parents used to be pissed because during that time, like right when I graduated high school, we had moved out to like the San Gabriel area. And I used to drive from San Gabriel to Bell Gardens just to coach youth football and then head back to Bell Gardens, right? Like, so anyone that knew to me would be like, why are you doing that? You know, like there's teams local, you know, like why are you going to Bell Gardens? And it was just something that I loved, man. I loved the kids. I loved that not a lot of people believed in our city when we first started, you know. We came from nothing, and then eventually, throughout the years, we're probably one of the most dominant youth football programs around, for sure.
Absolutely, Coach. And I think you kind of touched up on what I wanted to ask you right now, which is because everything starts with a spark. There's a spark, but to keep going on the long run, you have to have a big reason why, right? So you did kind of touch up on those points, but is there a core reason why you're still doing this to this day, Coach?
It's my passion, man. You know, like I'm not the best handyman there is, right? I can't use a hammer and nail, right?
I feel you on that one.
But when it comes to football, when it comes to coaching, that's what I do, man. You know, like I'll coach my daughter. All three of my little ones play softball, right? So if it ain't football season, I'm coaching softball. But other than that, football's pretty much year-round, and that's what I do. I feel I'm good at that, and that's my passion. So that's what, and just seeing what happens here, right? Like seeing kids experience, you know, winning, you know, seeing the community come together, seeing the sidelines and the bleachers here on game days, and seeing the smiles on parents' faces, you know, like that's what keeps me going. It's motivating to me.
The feeling of winning, that can be addicting.
For sure.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, as somebody that, you know, was a part of your teams growing up, you know, for me, that's what it was about. You know what I mean? It was about winning. It was about, you know, you told us. I remember you telling us like we do come from nothing. You know what I mean? These other teams look down on us, and that motivated. That I still like sticks with me to this day. Like I still have like kind of like that chip on my shoulder in life. Like, all right, nothing's given. You know what I mean? We're gonna go out there and we are gonna win.
For sure, man. I get chills talking about it right now. I remember practicing on this field, heading into our championship game versus Boyle Heights. Mm-hmm. It was raining out, right? And we're all out here getting wet, but our preparation for that game, just knowing how hard we worked and everything that went into it, like nothing was going to stop us from winning that. To this day, I remember when we finally did that, right? Like this high school doesn't have one CIF title, right? Mm. Back then, our youth program never had one title, right? Mm. We were the first one to do that, right? And to be honest with you, what was the most special thing was just seeing seeing everyone after that game, right? We're still on the field, and just seeing the parents, seeing everyone's friends, seeing the excitement, seeing how proud everyone was for the city of Bell Gardens is what has me here right now, right? Like that feeling was special, and I still remember it like if it was yesterday.
And Coach, something that I think is really important to state is that, like, we're using football right now as the example, but like Gmoe said, it applies to all aspects of life. I could thank football in so many ways as to how it helped me understand what it takes to win on many aspects of my life, such as raising a family, trying to start a business, trying to do something like this podcast. It's gonna kick your ass, but at the end of it, if you fucking win,
it's worth it.
Then it's all worth it. Seeing, like you said, those smiles, those fucking cheers, everybody happy, ready to wear a BG logo on their chest. That's what it's all about, man. And it's not just football. It's life, man. Football is life in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most definitely. And, you know, I don't want to say the same thing twice, but it sticks with me, you know?
Yeah.
It stuck with me to this day.
And real quick, just like getting into that, just like Gmoe, right?
That feels so weird for you calling me Gmoe Coach.
It does. It does.
It's Mosquito.
I always call him Mosquito. But this guy, you know, wasn't the fastest guy, wasn't the strongest guy.
No, by far.
But I'll tell you right now, like back then, I just knew he wasn't a punk and he wasn't a bitch, right? Like his heart, like he'd do all the dirty work, right? Like he blocked for us at wideout a lot, right? And he dominated like his blocks, never complained about shit, right? Wasn't the star player, right? But was a true BG Lancer, right? Like just blue collar, gonna do the dirty work, ain't gonna complain about shit. And that's the type of kid that excites me. That's a type of kid that, you know, I'm gone 13 hours a day away from my family, but when I'm around kids like that keeps me going for sure.
Oh yeah, Coach.
That grit, that just fucking force to keep going. I feel that, Coach, in many ways as well. Which leads me, I think, perfectly into this next question here, which is, can you describe to us your coaching style and what values you teach your players to carry both on and off the field?
My coaching style, man, I think I'm a lot calmer than I was back in the day when I used to.
That's not what it looked like when I was on the bleachers right now.
That's calm. Trust me. Like that's calm. But I think I'm older now. I'm a little wiser. I hold my kids accountable. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to do the right things if you play for me, right? You're going to respect your elders. You're going to do your schoolwork. You're going to be disciplined. You're going to help your parents take out the trash. You're going to clean up your room. You're going to keep this locker room clean. You're going to make right choices. You're going to make good choices, you know. I would like to think that you'll see what I try putting into my football team. You know, just a good, hard, disciplined coach that expects the best from you, and he's going to push you to the limits.
And I think all those things tie. I had one word on my mind as you were saying all that, Coach, is building character. More than anything,
that's the most important thing.
Because life, although as little and annoying as a task may be of cleaning up the field or taking out the trash, all those little things build character. Because life will get tough, you know. And because those little things kind of trained you, I'll put like a little pebble on you. So when shit comes down and comes down hard, you're ready to take it on. You know.
We go through it, man. We go through it, but you know, we get through it.
Gmoe, you had the next question, bro.
Okay. My bad. Okay, this is cool. All right, follow-up question pertaining to the last one. How did Coach Newell or any other mentor affect the style that you just talked about?
Man, so throughout my coaching career, I would say I had about three mentors, right? Three different stages of my career. My first one was Coach Dave Newell, right? I love him. He's done so much for me. He made me the coach I am today. You know, he was an ex-Marine that you didn't play with Coach Newell. You know, if you thought I was like hard, like nobody harder than that man right there, Coach Dave Newell. You know, he was a very disciplined man.
He was a Gurkha.
He was a Gurkha.
If you know, you know. If you know what a Gurkha is, you know.
Yeah,
Right?
he was a Gurkha. He was a man of faith, you know, and a lot of my coaching style is based from him, right? Then, you know, I would like to say Coach Dave Ramos, right? Like he's an ex head football coach that was here at Bell Gardens, now the head football coach for Sure High School, right? But he was a guy that gave me my first opportunity coaching high school football. You know, I started off never looking for a high school job, just busting my ass with the youth football. One day he reached out to me, was like, hey, I'm looking for a varsity football coach. You want to coach with me? For sure, that was a blessing for me, right? I did it for free, didn't care, you know, didn't care about money, just wanted to coach. So he mentored me for a few years coaching under him. Then I went to Almont, Bishop Almont, spent about 8-9 years coaching there. And Steve Haggerty changed me forever for the better. You know, he showed me what hard work really was. I used to think I worked hard, and then when I got to Bishop Almont, it was a different type of hard work, you know. But he changed me. He changed my coaching style. I think I'm a lot calmer because of him, you know. He showed me how to be a true leader, and a lot of credit to him. You know, our practices, our style is still based off of what they do there and what he taught me. So
mentorship is so important in many ways. You know, I've had a lot of mentors now in real estate, mentors in my life, from coaches, from my father, you know. So, and I gotta give homage and confess that, you know, all that guidance has led me to where I am today. I just did a podcast interview with my dad, and we got a chance to really talk about fatherhood and his upbringing and how it all trickled down to generations. And now when you think about that on an extended reach, your mentors that you mentioned and their mentors that they probably had, you know what I mean? It all trickles down. It all dominoes. So I think it's important for people to realize that, you know, I think a mentor doesn't expect anything back except for you maybe to pay it forward.
for sure.
You know? That's probably the best thing you can do.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, when you get game, you got to give it eventually. You know, you can't just hold on to it.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, you know, sometimes being a mentor, being a father, that's a way to mentor. But you take the extent, coach, of mentoring all these kids, right? Which now comes with a balance, right? So what I wanted to ask you next is, like, how do you balance that as far as being a father, like now, and being a coach? Because, like, for me, real estate's my full-time job. I love doing passion projects like this podcast. I love just working on all kinds of stuff, and sometimes it takes time for my family, right? And they're looking up to me for mentorship. So how do you balance that, coach? How do you balance coaching and family and everything else that you do?
That's rough, man. You know, I got like I said, 3 little ones, 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-year-old, and they're on 3 different teams. My oldest one plays for travel ball. My 2 little ones play for Chino Hills softball, and it's rough, man. You know, I spend so much time here, but any little time I get is for them. You know, like for today, for instance, I got out of work at 2:00. I rushed home so we can play some catch, do some hitting, and get them ready for their practice today. Made it back here by 5 p.m. so that we can have our Tuesday night practice tonight. it's hard. My wife does she carries a weight during football season, so she's driving around like crazy, and she's getting my kids to their lessons, their practices, their games. Fortunately for me, on the weekends, I get our work done so that I can get out and watch my daughter's games, and it's just it's crazy. It's crazy busy, but we get it done.
Those little moments you get with them, you try to make them as special as you can.
Oh, for sure, man.
Right.
You gotta. If you guys see my little girls one day, they're pretty special for sure.
I'm sure they are, just like you, Coach. Because that's something that my dad always taught me too. Is like I would work a lot. He would like have 3 jobs at one point. He's like, I'm gonna go to the gas station and get you guys a chocolate on the way home because I know those 10 minutes we get to spend together, you guys are going to be excited about being with me. You know what I mean? I'm going to get you guys McDonald's breakfast on the way home. He used to work at night as a taxi, right? So he used to be like, so those few moments that we get with him, my little brother, what he has right here, he remembers, those few moments for you and your kids is playing catch, doing something athletic outside, spending time together, so making sure those special small moments are special. And now Gmoe and I are fathers as well.
Yeah, so I'm relating a lot to you right now, Coach. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a girl dad as well. You know what I mean? That's a responsibility in its own. But I am seeing that I'm busy. So even right now to come here, I left from my daughter, and she's always asking. She's kind of getting used to it now. Me and my wife, Dada's working. You know what I mean? And she's slowly understanding, but yeah, it does get rough at times.
Yeah, and the sacrifices, I'm sure you can agree, Coach, one day they'll understand. One day they'll understand when they have their own passion and they realize how much effort that takes.
Yeah, like they don't like practice days, right? Like they don't like, Dad, you're gone all day. They don't like that, right? But they love being here on Friday nights. Like that day's special to them. That day is okay for Dad to be at work late. Like they love being on the field and just seeing what I do. And that day is a reward for them. They look forward to Friday nights, being on the field with their dad for sure. But those little girls, they're my. I got 5 kids, man. I got 3 little ones and 2 older kids, right?
Yeah.
I have Anthony is my older boy, Alexis is my older daughter, and then I got my 3 little ones, But every second I get, man, I'm with them, and we're always doing something. They're way into sports, so it's always something, right? Like unfortunately, they don't have too many, and they're young, man, but there isn't too many birthday parties for them. There isn't parties, because we're always busy. Like it's literally softball 24/7 every day, 7 days of a week, and then we got football 7 days out of the week also. So it's a busy schedule for us.
For sure, Coach.
But we wouldn't take it any other way.
Right. And like you said earlier, to touch on what you said about Friday nights, it's okay for Dad to do out there do his thing. But, I'm sure they already understand and realize that for Friday night to happen, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday also have to happen to lead up to that. When they see you out there winning and doing your thing, there has to be that work that gets there. And they totally understand because they're in the sports themselves. I think it's awesome that you have a family that's so into sports because, like I said earlier, there's so many qualities that you learn in sports that just apply to life. Hard work, commitment, the list goes on.
I think that leads perfectly into the next question, which is being that, your kids are in sports and you being a coach, is it hard to take a step back, and let other coaches do their thing? It's 2 chefs in the kitchen, you know what I mean?
Back in the day, it was like that for me, right? Because I felt like when I was a young football coach, I didn't feel everyone next to me put in the same time and effort that I did, right? So that, if you're going to have say, you're going to be next to me every day. Back in the day, man, my weekends were me by myself with a video camera sitting in the stands watching scouting, right? Mm-hmm. Me by myself, videotaping, going home, game planning, and no one else wanted to do that back then, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I always felt like I'm going to do everything. I'm running offense, defense, special teams. I know everything about the team we're going to play, and the person next to me back then didn't want to do that, right? So back then I always felt like, nah, I got to do it my way. I believe in my way, right? But after spending time at Bishop Alma with Steve Haggerty, that's how I felt he changed me, man. You know, like he'd be like, hey, coach, you got to trust the people next to you. You know, you got to make them feel valued, you know. And so now, you know, like I truly appreciate every coach that sacrifices their time to be with me. Like all my coaches work just as hard as me, you know, and so now it's a lot easier for me to give my coaches responsibility and me sit back a little bit and let my coaches' hard work show on the football field.
Right, Coach. I think you and I relate to you a lot on that because I first coming into like the real estate business, I used to be like, I gotta do everything, I gotta be everywhere because I want to have control, right? But then you start to realize that if you want to control it, you're responsible for it too, and you can't do everything. Right, so I've learned to trust my team. Similar, like I just told you before we were setting up behind camera. I wanted to do this whole thing on my own, and then Gmoe is my team, and he's like, "Nah, dude, let me come in and help you out."
Teamwork make the dream work.
And that's when I started realizing we're all better together. And we were having a good conversation with a friend the other day as well. That you know, the teamwork is important, but it's executed so well when there's trust. Because you trust that the coaches, when you're not around, they're doing what they're supposed to. I trust that when I'm not around Gmoe, he's doing what he's supposed to. And that nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, you know, gets distracted. But I know that Gmoe's trying his best. He knows I'm trying my best. You know, your coaches are trying their best when nobody's looking, you know. And so letting go of that control at the same time can also feel really good.
Oh, it does. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I got good people around me, man. That's why I'm here. You know, my coaches are awesome. We have our principal here, Mr. Miguel Miranda. Like, he's a big reason why I'm here right now. You know, I fully trust him. I know he respects what we do here, and I know he supports us 100%. So it makes it easy for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gmoe, you got anything to add to that?
I'm going through the same thing. You know what I mean? As that, I mean, it comes with being like a leader. You know what I mean? Like, you do have to give your trust to your teammates, and it's hard to let go. And I think I'm in that stage right now where I'm learning to let go.
Yeah.
Just I'm not quite there yet. You know?
And you need a team to create a big goal, a big accomplishment. So that leads me to my next question, Coach, which is, what's your ultimate big vision for you as a coach? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I forget at times, man.
forget.
I think
All
I'm
right.
either 42 or 43, but I'm more 43, I believe.
So you're my father's age. I remember Coach Newell was out here, and he was, I think, well over 60 of my freshman year.
Easy.
Yeah, so you got a good 20, 30 years of hard work in you, Coach. What's the vision for you from here on going forward? Or this may be your destination, you know?
Are you talking about in regards to coaching?
Coaching, yeah. How big do you want to take it?
In regards to coaching, man, you know, I've coached at all levels right now, right? In regards to, I did the youth football thing. I did high school football. It didn't matter what division. At Bishop Alma, we're Division I, you know. Here, last year, we were Division 11. I see myself right now, you know, when I first took the job, taking it like 4-year run, right? And then revisiting that after the 4 years and see if I wanted to go on a longer run, right? Right now, this is my second year here. Obviously, you know, my vision is winning a title here, winning the first title in the history of Bell Gardens High School. Lots of great football teams here, and I'm gonna get it done for sure. You know,
I love that.
If you truly believe it,
it's gonna
it's already
happen.
yours.
I'm just asking people, be patient. But it's gonna happen for sure.
Right, and that's something me and Jimmy talk about a lot. Casting a vision and living it out, down to the day. Right, we talk about this all the time. I'm like, dude, what are we gonna do just tomorrow? You know what I mean? Because we've worked on projects that were like, all right, and we start talking. We're like, dude, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, and we have the big picture in mind. But then we look at, nah, dude, what can we do today? And then after a while, collectively, it's just gonna lead us to our ultimate goal.
Yeah, it snowballs. We take like the little task when we did the food drive festival. We were a few months out, and then the day kept getting closer, and then that's when we started. All right, we got to start moving, and we made it, and we made it happen. So
I'm sure you're taking that same approach, Coach. I mean, now, like you said, give you time. We got to give it patience. You got to give it time. It's gonna snowball. I like to use the analogy of like, think about your big goal as like a huge train. When you're pushing it, starting off, it's gonna be so heavy, it's gonna be so hard, and it's barely gonna move. But once you're pushing, you got momentum, and that thing's going, you're gonna be able to let it go, and that thing's just gonna go on its own. So I try to use that analogy on the same kind of perspective. You know what I mean? But that's cool. I love that. I think you guys are gonna do it. Watch out for BG Lancers. We're gonna win some fucking championships, man. I believe it. We're gonna fucking be here for it.
Wait, wouldn't that be crazy, Coach? To be the first to win at the youth level and then take it up to the high school level.
Damn.
If that's like history book stuff. Your name will be etched.
Yeah, I believe it, man. The most important thing is having the right people around you. And I got guys here that bleed BG, true Bell Garden Tids, Rudy Ramirez was one of the greatest running backs to ever play at this school, class of like 88, right? Francisco Samano, Junior Samano, right? He's here with me also, class of 92, 93, one of the best to ever wear a BG football jersey here. Even my assistant coaches, long time Coach Garbon here, just a loyal, hardworking man.
Shout out Coach Garbon.
Yeah, hardworking. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Count on him for anything. And then my defensive coordinator, Chris Grego, ex-head coach at Cathedral, Salesian, a few different high schools. I got the right people around me. I got the right support I need from administration.
Right.
Now it's just getting the job done. You guys are the first people I've ever said that to. Like we're gonna win a title here.
Hell yeah.
Guaranteed.
Let's go. I believe it.
I'm determined, and we'll get it done for sure.
It's on fucking wax. And I wanted to touch real quick on Coach Garbon. I want you to know that Coach Garbon left us with some memories. Now we fuck around. We come into any room. We're like, gentlemen, what are we doing? What's some of the shit he would say, OP?
You got to have a sense of urgency.
You got to have a sense of urgency.
Sounds just like him.
Jokingly, right? Yeah. But those things stuck with you. Like Coach Garbon walks in the room, you fucking get your shit straight. Coach Hector walks in the room, fucking get your shit straight. Fucking get it straight back. Get your shoulders back. But I wanted to dive into something that Gmoe really talk about, and I know you're really, really willing to talk about, Coach, which is that junior midget season, that championship season, right? Gmoe, what do you remember about that, bro? What do you remember it was like?
Well, I think it started in the off season before.
Yeah.
I remember us being in Laughlin. I remember. I was on the Pee Wee level, the age group below, and by then you guys went to the semifinals, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yes.
Right. So they were already pushing. They were close to getting it done, and there was the next group of youngsters coming up, and I just remember like them warming up while watching us play, and I remember him just scouting us. You know what I mean? Like, all right. Who's coming up next year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that made me play a little harder because it's Coach Hector. You know what I mean?
What was that perspective for you, Coach, that season?
Man, that's when everything started changing for our program, right? My first year coaching that youth football team here, we lost every game, right? We had nothing. We barely had enough shoulder pads to put on kids. Numbers were low. Lost every game, but I knew never in my life would I ever experience anything like that again, right? Came out a year after, won like half our games, 5 games, didn't make the playoffs. That year I spent watching the best teams, right? I went to the playoffs and I watched the best teams around, and that's how we got into playing Whittier in Laughlin, because back then they were the team, right? So I wanted to play the best team. And so I would go and I'd scout them. They ended up winning the title that season. But I watched 4 games, and I knew they didn't respect us. But I wanted to play them in Laughlin. I just thought, why not? Just go swing for the fences.
Coach, didn't you guys win that game?
We were up 21-0 going into the fourth quarter. They came back to beat us 28-21 in one quarter.
Damn.
That's how special they were. But but I was so motivated just because our preparation had us in that position. No one had ever done that to them, right?
They didn't see it coming.
Then the next season was the year they were coming up, and stuff started changing, right? So, like, Bal Gardens wasn't the city that out-of-city kids would come want to play for, right? That year, we got Jordan Preciado that came
Shout out Jordan.
That came from Southgate to come play for us in BG, right? That year we got Manhorse from HP.
Yeah.
That
Estrada came with him.
And Estrada that came from HP to come play in BG, right? BG wasn't the city that did that. East LA got kids all the time. Whittier would get kids. Walden would get kids, but that didn't happen in BG, right? But that year, we got a few kids that wanted to come play for us, and shit changed real quick for people. You don't remember. I remember in the off season, we went to Pico Rivera. They were a dominant team, right? They wanted to throw 7-on-7 with us at their field, right? They were a powerhouse. Coming back, we only had 6 guys, right? We didn't even have 7 guys, but we had 6 guys. Big Joe,
Shout out
Big
Joe.
Joe rolled up. Didn't even play. He wasn't a skilled kid. Didn't play receiver. Didn't play DB. I was like, hey, Big Joe, I need you to play safety. Just stand back there.
Hey, yo, Joe can do anything,
Just stand back there and go get a football. So we had 6 guys playing against a team that had 25 guys, and we just dominated the shit out of them. It was just like that day. I was just like, okay, shit's changing.
Yeah.
I think
it's different.
It's different right now, right? Then after that, I think we played in a little a 7-on-7 tournament. It was at
I remember that. It was very hot.
Was it Downey High School?
No,
don't
it
know
wasn't
what
Downey.
high school it was, but we went out there and we just beat the shit out of everybody.
I remember that.
It wasn't even close, right? And then we got into season. I remember our first game was against Alhambra High School.
Alhambra.
All right? Against Alhambra High School. And check this out, man. That game, Alhambra High School, I got married the day before that game on Friday.
Really?
Okay? I was on my this is where I was on my honeymoon, okay? We stayed local. We were in Huntington Beach somewhere, right? I left my wife in the hotel, okay? I left my wife in the hotel to go coach that football game on my honeymoon, right?
Wow.
Like
I never knew that, Coach.
No, I didn't tell you guys.
Yeah.
But that was my, and my wife was all right with that, man.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It was a youth football game, man. I left her in the hotel, went to Alhambra High School, beat the shit out of Alhambra that game, and as soon as that game was over, I went straight back to the hotel where my wife was waiting for me.
Man, you gave me a chill down my spine with that, Coach.
I don't know what dedication is if it's not that, straight up.
That's totally inspiring, man. Talk about being committed. Talk about having an awesome wife.
Facts.
Shout out to your wife. What's your wife's name?
A BG alumni also, man. Her name is Luce Novoa.
Shout out Luce Novoa. She's an amazing woman. Thank you for letting Coach be there that day.
I know you guys will edit it a little later, but just that run, it was his year. So I know how much it meant to those kids. I could guarantee you, like, we can get together right now, and everyone will have memories about that run. Yeah, right.
Definitely. Definitely.
I remember, like, right after that, we played Boyle Heights at Boyle Heights. Right.
At Boyle Heights, yeah.
And it was a war. Like, we
barely won that game.
Team, the first team that was giving us a little trouble. It was like a tie game. We were about to go into half, and I think it was like 4th and like 3. We were on our own 10-yard line, and Man Horse just broke he took off 80-yarder.
Damn.
And after that score, it just changed everything for us. We ended up winning a close game. We won, I don't remember, by 7 points.
It was 6. It was 18-12, something like that.
It was a close game, but that game was probably the only close game the whole year. We go on that playoff run. And the Walnut game was good.
Oh my God, that game felt like
that game was special, man, because
that felt like the championship.
I think it was 7-7 at halftime.
Yes,
something like that.
Yeah.
They had a nice big running back that was special, right? But for some reason, we scored on the first play of the game. I remember we put a little package together, direct snap to Man Horse. Ran a sweep. We scored the first play.
Yeah.
And then they shut us down the rest of the half. And then I just remember coming out at halftime and looking in the stands. I hardly ever do that, man. Like, you won't ever catch me at a game right here looking in the stands. I don't do that. I'm not about that. I don't like my kids doing that, But I remember walking out and looking at the stands and I was like, damn, like, that's Bell Gardens. Like, seeing the amount of people that were at that game was nuts. One of the best environments I've ever been in, to be honest with you. We ended up pulling off that game towards the end too. We broke away a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
And that got us into the championship against
Boyle
Heights again, the team we just barely beat, right? But that day, like, Boyle Heights had no chance. We from the get-go, we just played some marshmallow football. And we beat them pretty good. I think it was like 34-6. Yeah. Coach Newell went and watched that game because he knew that we're going to be taking that group to Bell Gardens High School.
We got coached by Coach Newell the following year. Yeah.
I sadly did not play that season, the junior midget season. I played the following freshman year. Yeah. And we had a great season that time too. Sure. And a lot of the same guys came in, right? And we went like 9-1. I forgot who we lost to. It doesn't matter.
Lost to El Rancho, and that's who you guys play in 2 days, Coach.
Yep. We lost to El Rancho that game. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. We lost that game. I still remember that it hurt. I didn't want Newell to experience that loss. I felt like he deserved to go undefeated that season. Like, everything for me was trying to give him what he deserved. Unfortunately, Coach Newell never won a title here, right? He always had good football teams. He made runs. He made it to the finals, and no one more deserving than him. Like, he's one of the most dedicated men I've ever been around, and I'm hoping I can get him that title, sooner rather than later.
Coming into a wrap-up segment here, Coach. I did kind of want to just touch up. What are your expectations for this season? You guys won last week against Sierra Vista. We got Rancho coming up in a couple days. How are you feeling about your team? I saw a lot of fumble recoveries last week. Was that the offense being weak? Was that the defense being strong? How are you guys feeling coming into the season right now?
I feel good about the season, man. We're a very young football team, but these kids have bought in. They work hard. And we'll see, man. We haven't beat El Rancho in a long time. It's going to be a hell of a football game. It's going to be a close football game, and whoever plays better that day is going to win that football game. We're prepared and we're ready for them, So the best team is going to win that day. Looking past that game, every team we play is going to be tough, but I think we're going to continue to get better, and we're looking to make a playoff run, and anything could happen in the playoffs.
All right.
Let's go.
Looking forward to a good season. Watch out for Bell Gardens. So a couple another little wrap-up segment, Coach. We do this one thing with each one of our guests here. You can go ahead, Gmoe. We go to your first Instagram post. You happen to have Instagram. We go all the way back, and I want you to just tell us what's going on this first post that you ever posted on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. That's my 11-year-old daughter right there, Zoe. That's the first sport I ever signed her up for. I believe she was only like 3 years old, maybe. That was gymnastics in the city of Monrovia. Took her there and had her in gymnastics for her first couple years before moving her on to, she tried soccer, and then she got into softball, and softball is her passion now.
That's kind of where it started then, huh?
Yeah, but even like this, I tell you guys, like, I'm not used to being on camera. Like, if you look through my Instagram, you're going to see a lot of pictures of me.
Yeah, she's supposed to your family.
You're going to see my family. You can see my girls mainly. You'll see a little football. Most videos of my daughters playing softball.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. All right, I got a little segment here, Coach, where we do rapid fire questions. This is a little bit more on the fun side, just to let the people know a little bit more about your personality. So we're gonna ask you some questions. Just answer briefly, quickly, with the first thing that comes to your head. Go ahead, Gmoe.
All right, ready, Coach?
Yep.
Describe your style in 1 to 5 words. Your style.
Hard.
All right.
Go-to fast food spot.
Any taco catering truck.
All right.
Overspending or oversaving?
Overspending.
I feel it. Who's your current favorite music artist?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Man.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
I know you listen to music, Coach. I know there's somebody you like.
Like, I'm not too much into the new stuff, I like a lot of, like, The Roots is one of my favorite crews, right? I like Mos Def, Talib Kweli, KRS-One, so
right.
It's tough for me, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
There's one more, G.
Finish the phrase. The way to my heart is
through food.
Through food. I said the same thing.
All right, last little wrap-up questions, Coach. Are you working on any other projects? You did, though. I remember that.
Was it food? No, it was humor.
Humor. You said
humor. Humor. That's what I said.
So, Coach, are you working on any other big projects outside of football?
No.
No? All right. Football 100%. Anybody out there you'd like to shout out or acknowledge?
The Bell Gardens football team, man. Watch out for them.
Let's go.
Any general message for the youth or the younger generations out there who will see this?
Stay positive. Keep grinding. Be a good person. Make good choices.
Simple, like that. And last thing is, where can people follow you or learn more about you?
You can follow the Bell Gardens football page on Instagram. That's where you would want to follow us.
Awesome. All right, so that's it for us. So, this is a great episode, Coach. We thank you for being on the show. My name's Eric Lauder, your favorite realtor, aka non-generic Eric, because I keep it real with you.
I'm Gmoe.
And this was Coach Hector Novoa of the Varsity head coach for Bell Gardens football. We appreciate you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed the interview, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.